I know most of the time that I've brought up Hampton, it's been on the negative sense. But I think he grew on me more and more as I watched him. What do you like about Omarion Hampton from UNC?
Yeah, we've already talked about it before. I do have some so we just praised Ashton Genty for his vision. I have some concerns about Omarion Hampton's vision, and even then, it's more inconsistent than it is outright bad, right? So I've comped him because of this to DeAndre Swift a little bit. Who DeAndre Swift is a physically very impressive running back, but who has terrible vision, and that's why he's not a team's number one, superstar, and teams move on from him, et cetera, because he keeps missing the hole. He bottles himself up. He doesn't maximize his own ability to gain yardage, but then every now and again, because he's physically talented, he'll make an amazing run and blah, blah, blah. So Hampton does some of that, where there are definitely plays you're like, you're seeing it wrong. You're going to the wrong hole. You're not seeing the hole open up, well, all those sorts of things. But number one, he's so physically talented that even on some of those plays, he makes it work anyway, right? Like he makes an incredible play, even though he's theoretically hit the wrong hole. And then there are plays where he sees it well as well. So it's not like he's outright bad at it. I just think it's inconsistent vision for him. But he's physically the most impressive back in this class, I think. Like he's big, strong, fast, dynamic, explosive, all those things. Like the physical traits are all there for Hampton. And obviously he's bigger than Genty. And I don't think it's a problem in any way, shape, or form, but you do look at Genty and you're like, man, that guy's small. he looks pretty tiny on the field. Whereas Hampton's a big, powerful back. He breaks a lot of tackles. He's not easy to get to the ground. He can break them in a variety of different ways as well. He can straight bust through a tackle. He can do it like with explosiveness, like he can leap clean over a guy, Saquon Barkley style. He can do it with quickness, like he has the elusiveness to make a move and get by a guy that way. So he's also pretty, like for a big guy, he's pretty good at getting skinny and getting through tight spaces and creases and stuff. He's got that. Remember the way Ronnie Brown for the old Miami Dolphins running back, part of the Wildcat and stuff? Ronnie Brown, for a big back, the best thing he did was navigate inside, like tight, condensed spaces between the tackles. He was really good at that despite being massive. So he's got a little bit of that to him as well. So yeah, I think that's him in a nutshell, like the most impressive physical specimen in this class, to the point where I think it can negate some inconsistent vision from him. And I think that's him in a nutshell.
Omarion Hampton, I also wrote down, he's got some freakish contact balance plays where he's got those, those matrix moves where he's bouncing off a tackler, is maintaining his balance, and then, picking up a big burst beyond that. I think my concerns with Hampton were as much a little bit of vision, when he's making a cut here and there. And that is, it's just an interesting dynamic, right? Because running backs are, they're usually taught by the book, right? On inside zone, you're going to read this defensive tackle to that defensive tackle. And it's supposed to be a little color by numbers, but it's also the position that you want to have the most feel at, because you're one of the best athletes on the field and you've been running to space your entire life. So you want to give them the opportunity to run to space, but there is, like, you always use that color by numbers phrase. Like there is like a very simple read, this guy to that guy, make one decision, downhill and cut. And there's some of those he'll miss. And then I think he's a much better zone runner, smooth zone runner, than he is gap runs when you've got a puller, right? When it's power, when it's counter. And some running backs just have a better feel for patience, and then boom, hit the hole. And I don't think he's as good there. But I think as a pure zone runner, even if he's going to miss a read here and there, very smooth, explosive, as you said, burst through the hole, get skinny, does a lot of good things to maximize yards as a zone runner that I really like. Hey guys, just taking a quick break to tell you, hey, just over 50% of you are still unsubscribed to Check the Mic. It helps the channel. It helps to make sure that you don't miss any of our shows. So if you have a chance, hit the subscribe button right now.
And the reason why it's potentially a problem if a guy's not reading it, quote unquote, correctly all the time is because offensive linemen are blocking for a specific point of attack, right? And if you consistently change the point of attack without good reason, you're upsetting that guy's leverage, right? Like he's blocking this guy to a specific place, expecting the running back to be going in the opposite direction, which is how the block works. But if the running back ends up going somewhere else, all of a sudden he's making a block to the wrong place. He's making a block to the running back instead of away from him. And as I say, sometimes Hampton makes it work anyway, right? But there are too many plays on his tape where there's a guy being blocked at the second level now to the wrong place, right? So suddenly what would have been open at the second level, like he's making his own life harder effectively by undermining some of the blocks that are attempting to free him space. So like he's got a lot of plays where there's nowhere to go. Some of that is on him. A lot of it isn't, but some of it is on him. And you're like, if he'd taken the correct pathway, this linebacker would not have been one-on-one in the hole with him.
By the way, I love that you brought up Ronnie Brown. And if we do some more retro drafts, the 05 draft would be a great one. Ronnie Brown and his teammate Cadillac Williams both go in the top 5.
And then like Benson, right? Cedric Benson. See the other third running back?
He went, yeah, Benson goes 4th, and then Ronnie Brown goes 5th. So we're going to talk about the Ohio State teammates, Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins. Imagine having 2 running backs. And Cadillac was highly touted, more highly touted than Ronnie Brown. And Ronnie Brown goes number 2, and then Cadillac goes number 5. 3 running backs in the top 5. Aaron Rodgers falls. It'd be a great draft to go back through. I think I did live tweet it last year. Live tweet the 05 draft last year. It was a fun one though. Yeah. So anyway, I like Hampton quite a bit. I have to give a shout out to our guy Willie Lampkin again though. I know he didn't have the best workout in the world, but it was unbelievable watching. I still do it, man. I'm watching a 278, 279 pounder, whatever he is. The number of times that he is just out leveraging at ACC defensive tackles and making a key block. He was fantastic, but there were also so many plays. We call them the no chance plays. And we would say Omarion Hampton had no chance on this play, right? There's just 3 dudes in the backfield. He can't do anything. There was too many of those plays with UNC. But Willie Lampkin continued to impress me every time I watched Omarion Hampton.
If Lampkin had put together one of those Jason Kelsey short shuttle times, I'd have been like, "That's my guy right now." I'm pounding the table. Like any, take him as high as you want. I guarantee it's gonna work out. But unfortunately, his workout made me upset.
Anything else on Hampton? I'm trying to see if I got anything good.
No. So
note-wise,
again, the vision thing is complex because there are plays where he sees it like sometimes because the blocking was not necessarily amazing every single play. There are plays where his instant reaction to the developing, changing, blocking, like all the stuff we're talking about, the crowd on Fremont Street, where his instant reaction ability to that is sick, like really, really good. And he can make some of those plays work really well. It's just that it's not like Genty's where it's almost always exactly on point every single play. There are times where it looks really good for Hampton. There are times where it's bad for Hampton. I'm not sure why. Like, sometimes you can see a pattern with the way players work with their vision. They're always trying to run to space or whatever it is. I can't see a pattern in why Hampton's vision is inconsistent, but I think it is notably inconsistent relative to certainly Genty.
One other thing I did want to note on Hampton, he was a workhorse. We talked about Ashton Genty being a workhorse. Hampton had 6 games of 30-plus carries. You're not seeing nearly as much of that in college football now than you used to. Ken Walker did that a couple years ago for Michigan State. Hampton, they've relied on him quite a bit, and I don't think this isn't a knock, but I think it's actually a good thing. That they've relied on him, and he's shown that he can be a workhorse. It's not to the point where I think he's been so overtaxed like Genty may have been just last season that it ends up becoming a negative. But I was impressed with, him handling the workhorse role at UNC.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end of our video.
For more great content, click here to subscribe and here to watch another video. We'll see you again soon.